Hello and mahalo as we look at OKO Wrist Lock number 8, also called gooseneck. So once again, this is going to be a right hand to left hand front grab from our green zone from 12 o'clock. Much like in previous wrist grabs, the same initial response, which is going to be mess with the brain. So we're going to step back to create distance. Hand is going to pull and we're going to push with the facial strike. As I rotate the hand up, we are then able to then use my right hand to grab on the arm as I up-clock with my pizza slice, going from 6 o'clock up to 8:39. I'm going to re-grab his arm, use his thumb as the gate to strip my arm, and grab just above his elbow to control. Now once again, I'm going to push-pull to push his arm towards him and his elbow near into my elbow. I'm going to control release once his elbow is at my elbow and grab the wrist so the hands are in a butterfly position once again. I can then press his fingers towards his elbow to create the lock, in which we get a 6-point lock. And I have 3 points of contact. A point of contact at my elbow and 2 points of contact with my hands. Then I can follow up and take down. Whether I want to step the reverse and push his hand towards his body and throw him down, or whether from this position I could, as is seen in the video, knee, control release, crossing cover out at a 45-degree angle away from my opponent. Let's go ahead and do this with a stick. So once again, it is their right hand and my left hand grab. It's a when-then. When he grabs me, then I respond. Step back and poke. Notice hand is coming down, push, pull. I'm going to rotate up and in, causing the initial part of the lock. I'm up-clock with my right foot. Notice my right hand comes up and over to re-grab. As is often stated in Kempo-based arts, whenever we grabbed, we either grab or re-grab. So we're going to strip our hand out, but we have to do that by controlling his weapon, in this case the grab. So once again, from the beginning, step back, poke, bring the arm up as an up-clock, putting stress on his thumb gate. Hand comes up and grabs as I strip. I'm going to, now this is his elbow, I'm going to grab behind his elbow. My hand is at his wrist. I'm going to push and pull to bring it into my elbow. I'm going to start control the wrist with my right hand as the left hand comes up and pushing his elbow into my armpit as I control his wrist. As is seen in the video, I'm going to knee. I'm going to control release his arm, pushing him away. Now my avenue of escape, my zone of sanctuary, is going to be at 2 different 45-degree angles, whether it is going to be towards 4:30 or 7:30. In this particular case, I'm going to go towards 7:30. The first crossover, I'm going to cover this 180 degrees. As I cross through in reverse, now I've seen this 180 degrees, and now I'm ready to take on my next opponent. With that, this has been OKO Wrist Lock number 8. Aloha, mahalo. Welcome back as we look at OKO Wrist Lock number 8. Once again, this is the cross-hand wrist grab. As he grabs, we're going to bring the arm up and out, allowing us to grab and control. The arm, this stick is their arm. Here's the wrist, here's the elbow. It's about the same distance as my wrist to elbow. As I control it, I'm going to re-grab. I'm going to control release and grab his elbow with my hand. Now my right hand is at his wrist, my left hand is at his elbow. I'm going to pull his elbow in towards me. I'm going to control release. Notice now my right hand at the end of the stick is grabbing his wrist and pushing the fingers down. I'm going to control release at the elbow now that is firmly in my armpit and add my left hand to the grab. This is called the gooseneck, hence the reason for the nickname for this technique in the system. So remembering, there's quite a few lessons and concepts in this particular technique. Immediately there is the distraction strike to allow you to bring the arm up to be able to control it. There's also what we call pain compliance. So once we have them in this gooseneck, we can continue to put pressure on the wrist, or put pressure on the wrist downwards, as well as pressure on the elbow in towards my armpit to affect his height, his width, and his depth. Once again, the thumb is the gate, as we see with many of the wrist and the arm locks. We have the up clock / pizza slice and creating room to take down our opponent. We have the push and pull, as we saw. Once the wrist grab and strike, we have the push-pull motion. We have the reintroduction of the gooseneck. The gooseneck of the wrist and control of the elbow. We have the 6-point lock from the fingers to the wrist, to the elbow, to the shoulder, to the takedown. And we have 3 points of contact. Once again, once his elbow is in my armpit, there's 1 point of contact. My right hand on his wrist is the 2nd point of contact. My left hand on his wrist is the 3rd point of contact. Once again, once they get a hold of us, we like to gain control of them. Shall we call it the jiu-jitsu element of both Kaju and Kenpo, is once they grab us, we want to pin or re-grab, and then we control them. It's their unintended consequence for trying to get at us. With that, this has been the Concepts and Principles in Wrist Lock number 8. Stay tuned as we look at more.